we're going to talk about wellness, because not only does increased gut intelligence give you more wisdom in decision making, but when we take care of our gut health, we're able to be more clear, calm, and confident. Because our gut is not just a brain for decision making, our gut is our immune system as well. So we want to be sure that we're doing things that are a self-care prescription, especially in this unprecedented times where we've been made to be so afraid that this is an invisible disease and you don't even know if you're next to somebody who actually might be carrying the virus. So the best you can do is boost your immune system so that you're prepared to be guarded against that, not just because of 6 feet social distancing, but because you're not susceptible. So let's take a look at these self-care prescriptions that we have in the book. And if you're interested in getting the book, it's on Amazon.com. Otherwise, just enjoy. So for the mind to help us really make our mind so that it's functioning in a clear way, that it can do its job to assimilate information, we talk about wellness practice number 1, which is sleeping. A lot of people don't understand how important it is to sleep and how much sleep is enough. Most people need 7 to 8 hours of sleep every day, but the problem is, if they're not meditating during the day, or if they're not pausing to listen to their gut alert that's saying, oh, pause, pay attention. What didn't sync up here? What is my heart telling me, my emotions that it needs and wants? And how might I make a decision to align with that? If we're not paying attention to that gut, heart, and head wisdom, what happens is when it's time to go to bed, we're laying there in bed and we're like, and our mind is chattering, what about this? What about this? What about this? What about this? And you need to remember this, and you need to remember that. And we can't sleep. Has that ever happened to you? Of course it has. And that's the other reason why it's important to practice the pausing and listening to the gut alerts throughout the day so that we can make effective decisions in the moments that matter. Otherwise, they're catching up with us right before we go to sleep. Or even if we are so exhausted that we fall asleep, we're waking up in the middle of the night because we're having dreams, because our dreams are trying to process this information, and then we wake up and we didn't have a solid 7 to 8 hours of sleep. We need to allow ourselves to rest so that we can be clear and alert. So that's practice number 1. How much sleep are you getting? Practice number 2 is about thoughts and journaling. Again, one of the ways that we can pay attention to our gut alert is to journal. Is to stop and think, if I didn't get it at a gut alert level, because not all of us are aware of our body, how can I grab it at a thought level? What thoughts went through my mind that said, pay attention, or, ooh, I don't like this, or that's not working for me, or, ooh, I feel anxious about that, or, ooh, that makes me sad, or, ooh, that makes me angry. Sometimes it's easier to identify it at that level. So journaling throughout the day can help you stop and pause. So how do you journal? Well, I like to journal in terms of the stick man. I like to start with the thoughts. What thoughts are grabbing my attention? And then I like to go back down to the gut. So the head is the thoughts. The gut is, well, what was the gut alert that made me even think that thought? What happened? And that helps me raise my level of awareness of what was going on around me. And then I like to go back to the stick man and the heart and say, well, what does my heart feel? What does it value? What are my emotions telling me? And then I go back up to the head and I say, okay, how might I make a decision that aligns with what I know and what I want? How's that for journaling? Try that out. Wellness practice number 3 is breathing and meditation for clarity. So I'd mentioned to you that when we breathe deeply into our gut, we change the neural pathway so that it's not going into this, gut alert, fight, flight, black and white, all or nothing response. We're starting to create a neural pathway so we can get to the executive functioning part of our brain. But how do we breathe? Let me just tell you one simple technique right now that I use in my executive coaching that works so well. And it's breathing in your nose and out your mouth. And it's breathing 3 times to about where my necklace is, top of the chest, in your nose, out your mouth, 3 times at the middle of the chest, 3 times at the top of the diaphragm, 3 times at the middle of the diaphragm, and 3 times at the base of our hips. And slowing that breath down, holding for a moment, so it's like a wave rolling. So it's a breathing in. And then you hold for a second and you breathe in your nose. And you hold for a second. So it has a nice rhythmic feel to it. And as you go down further and further into your body, you're just elongating that breath. Now again, what does that do? That makes the vagus nerve more efficient. It connects the gut, heart, and the head, and it makes the corpus callosum open up and become efficient so we can get to the left and the right hemisphere of our brain. It also lowers the brain wave from beta to alpha, so our gut, our heart rather, and our head are at the same wave. They're in sync with each other, and it stops the chattering in our mind. So learning how to breathe in that way is very helpful. And then once you've gotten down to that gut level, then what you want to do is you want to ask a how might I question. How might I what? How might I make an effective decision that aligns to my values? If there's no other question, that is an excellent question to ask. Now, we all hear intuitive in a different way. Some of us are visual. So I tell people to look up to the right side of their mind's eye because that's where you'll see visual pictures. Some of us are auditory. That's where you'll hear that still, small voice in your left ear. So listen in your left ear. And some of us are what's called kinesthetic, and look down in your gut and say, what do I know for sure? So after you're breathing, ask your how might I question, and then look to the right side. What am I seeing? Listen in the left ear. What am I hearing? And look down in your gut. What do I know for sure? And that's basically meditation. Now there's several different other kinds of meditations. You can use an app if you want. Some people need assistance with an app to walk them through that. If you're interested in that, if you take my first course, Aligned to Your Gut Intelligence, I actually take you through this meditation and I show you how to do it, and I do it with you. So it's really an awesome course to take. Some people need a little quiet music in the background. But like I said in the earlier video, even if you simply just gradually breathe down into your gut, even if you're holding your cup of coffee and you're staring out at nature, you're sitting on a rock out in nature, you're quieting your mind. And you can ask your how might I question. And as you practice that, you'll learn to be able to discern your intuitive voice. So practicing that is really important to become the clear, calm, and confident you, the wise and the well you. Now, in terms of wellness, meditation is really important for us because, again, our immune system is in our gut. We have more neurons, more neurotransmitters and hormones, that good hormone, serotonin, that makes you happy, that's in your gut. Okay, we want to breathe that up to the brain so we can be more clear, calm, and confident. So if you're struggling with anxiety and depression, this meditation is really important for you to get past anxiety and depression. It's really difficult to make wise decisions when we're anxious and depressed, and certainly difficult to be well. Okay, so those are 3 things we can do to be well in terms of our mind. We can, number 1, again to review, sleep. Number 2, journal our thoughts. And number 3, do deep breathing for meditation. Now for our heart, what's really important is that we do emotional management. So what does emotional management mean? It means to stop, identify your emotions, be curious on what they're telling you, and also what you value. That's emotional management, because once we put words to it, we are in control of it, meaning the emotion, versus the motion is in control of us. It's the difference between the emotion being back here and it's like controlling us, versus we're bringing it around into our consciousness, and now we can own it. We can own it because we identified it, because we took the time to be curious to understand it, and we know how that represents what we value, and now we can honor it. So that's what emotional management is. Now, some people have a hard time doing that in the moment, which is really understandable. So one of the things you can do again for emotional management is to practice journaling around that. So back to that stick man again. When you're journaling about what are my thoughts throughout the day, and then what was my gut alert that made me pause and have those thoughts, probably when you get to the heart part and you're asking, what did I feel? And what are those feelings telling me about what might need to change, or what I need to do, and what I value? You probably need to spend a little bit more time on that piece of it until it becomes second nature. And what I mean by second nature is after you journal a lot about that, you ask yourself those questions in the moment. What did I feel? That's identifying. What are the feelings telling me? And what do I value? You just ask them automatically, and you don't need to journal anymore. And that's emotional management. The next emotional management practice for wellness is gratitude. Gratitude and surrender. So let's talk about those separately. There's a saying that says, what you think about, you bring about. And what you focus on expands. So the importance of gratitude is to start every day with a cup that's half full at least, right? So to start the day and say, I'm happy to be alive. I'm happy that today I'm healthy. I'm happy that my body is serving me today. I'm happy that I'm safe today. I'm happy that I have enough food for today. I'm happy that I have enough money to have the lights on today and to have a roof over my head today. I'm happy that I have something that I'm doing that I'm loving today, this job that I have, this activity that I have. I'm grateful for, and then you keep saying what you're happy and grateful for. Now what that does is it trains the mind to be in the present moment and to surrender up the future. Otherwise, our mind likes to do 2 crazy things. It likes to go back there and regret and think about, if only I woulda, coulda, shoulda, then, I wouldn't be here. Forget that. What's back there is gone, done. What you learn from it should be the only question you're asking yourself. What did I learn? That's it. What did I learn? Move forward. But our mind also likes to do something else. It likes to go way in the future and worry about stuff. Will this pandemic make me sick? So instead of being in the present moment and I'm grateful that I'm healthy, oh, what about if down this road here I get sick? Or what about if I lose my job and I can't have the lights on anymore, the roof over my head, or the food in the refrigerator? So starting with gratitude and surrender every day keeps you in the present moment. And it's only the present moment that we can make wise decisions. We have to take a peek down the road and say, what might be coming, like just a peek. But then we have to come back here, and in the moment is the only moment we can make a decision about our health, about our wealth. It's the only time. So this practice for our emotions keeps us clear, calm, and confident in the moment.